Right now, someone out there is sitting on a dream. You've got talent, you've got passion, but you're scared. And I get it, jumping is scary. But let me tell you what's scarier: waking up 40 years from now with a heart full of regret because you never even tried. If you're tired of existing and want to live, this message is for you. There's something you need to understand if you're ever going to fulfill your potential. Nothing truly great, nothing truly life-changing, ever happens in the comfort zone. That place where everything feels familiar, easy, and safe, is the same place where dreams quietly die. It's cozy, yes. It's manageable. But it's also the most dangerous place you can live if you ever plan to rise beyond mediocrity. The comfort zone is like quicksand dressed in velvet. It feels good under your feet, but the longer you stand in it, the deeper you sink into a life of routine, regret, and missed opportunities. It's the silent killer of ambition. It convinces you to delay your dream just a little longer. To settle for okay because great seems too risky. It tells you the lie that tomorrow is promised, so there's no rush to act today. But here's the truth: growth and comfort cannot coexist. Think about every person who has ever achieved something remarkable: athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, inventors, leaders. Not one of them made it by staying comfortable. They all had to step into the unknown. They all had to risk something: reputation, finances, relationships, failure, because they understood that nothing meaningful is ever created without discomfort. When Steve Harvey says, "You have to take a chance," he's talking about leaving that zone. He's talking about choosing discomfort with purpose over comfort with regret. That jump he talks about, it's a leap out of your safe space into the wide open world of possibility. And yes, it's scary. Yes, you might fall. You might even crash. But that jump is where transformation begins. The comfort zone wants you to believe that safety is the goal. That just getting by is enough. But you weren't put on this earth just to survive, you were born to thrive. You were given talents, dreams, a vision, and none of those are meant to live in the shadows of fear. Taking a chance doesn't mean being reckless. It means being bold enough to pursue something greater than what you currently know. It's saying, even if I don't have it all figured out, I believe enough in what could be that I'm willing to move forward anyway. Let me tell you this: comfort is not your friend. It's not loyal to your future. It only serves your present by giving you an illusion of security. But the cost is heavy. Because every day you delay your dream, every day you silence your gift, you are giving away a piece of your purpose in exchange for temporary ease. So the next time you're afraid to make a move, to start something new, to raise your voice or chase the dream, remember this: comfort is the cage. Courage is the key. You'll never know what you're truly capable of until you leave where it's safe and step into where it's possible. You'll never build the life you want by clinging to the one that's easy. So if you want to grow, if you want to soar, if you want to find out what greatness feels like, you have to take a chance. Fear is one of the most powerful forces on earth, not because it can stop you physically, but because it can convince you to stop yourself. It doesn't need to put chains on your hands or a wall in front of you. All it needs to do is whisper the right lie in your ear: what if you fail? What if they laugh at you? What if you're not enough? And most people believe it. That's the tragedy. Not that fear exists, but that we treat it like truth. Fear doesn't show you the full picture. It shows you the worst-case scenario. It magnifies the risk and minimizes the reward. It makes you see monsters where there are only shadows. It doesn't care about your growth. It only cares about your comfort. Fear will lie to you and tell you that safety is the same as peace. But there's no peace in living beneath your potential. There's no peace in knowing you never even tried. The dreams you have, the ones that keep you up at night, the ones that stir your soul, those are not accidents. They were planted inside you for a reason. But fear wants to talk you out of them. Fear wants to negotiate you down from life-changing to just enough. It wants you to settle, stay quiet, and stay in your place. Because the moment you start believing you can be more, fear knows it's losing control. Ask yourself, how many chances have you already missed because of fear? How many times did you say no to something that could have changed your life, just because the outcome wasn't guaranteed? That job you didn't apply for. That person you didn't speak to. That idea you never acted on. And what did fear give you in return? A temporary sigh of relief? A few moments of false security? It trades your future for your comfort, and that's a bad deal every time. Steve Harvey says, you have to take a chance. That's not just motivational talk. That's survival. Because if you keep listening to fear, you will die with your dreams still inside you. You'll go to your grave carrying visions that were never brought to life, not because you weren't capable, but because you weren't courageous. Let that sink in. Fear doesn't stop the future. It stops you, the future is still out there, waiting. You just have to stop believing the lie that you're not ready. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling the fear and moving anyway. It's about standing at the edge of uncertainty and saying, this still matters more. The people who make it. The ones we admire, the ones who inspire us, weren't any braver than you. They just refused to let fear have the final say. Taking a chance means betting on yourself, even when fear tells you you're not worth the risk. It means stepping out with a shaky voice, with butterflies in your stomach, with sweat in your palms, and doing it anyway. Because somewhere deep down, you know there's more. And you know you were made for it. Fear is never going away completely. That's the truth most people don't talk about. But it doesn't have to leave. It just can't lead. You can acknowledge it, but you don't have to obey it. You can feel it, but you don't have to feed it. The longer you let fear steer your life, the further you drift from your purpose. The life you want, the one that feels impossible right now, that life starts the moment you stop letting fear call the shots. The door to your destiny is unlocked. It's always been unlocked. But you'll never open it if you keep standing outside listening to fear's lies. So today, take a deep breath and remember this. Fear is a liar. And you have something far more powerful than fear. You have a dream, a gift, and the ability to move. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait until you feel ready. Take the chance. Step forward. And prove fear wrong. Inside every person walking this earth, there is a gift, a natural ability, a talent, a calling that was placed in them for a reason. That gift isn't random. It isn't an accident. It's not something you stumbled upon. It's part of your design. It's the key to your purpose. And if you dare to believe in it, if you dare to use it, that gift will make room for you in places you never imagined. Steve Harvey often says, your gift is the thing you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. It's that thing that comes naturally to you but amazes others. The problem is, most people don't value their gift because it comes easy to them. They confuse ease with insignificance. But that's the trap. Just because something doesn't feel like work doesn't mean it isn't valuable. In fact, that ease is what makes it valuable. That's what separates it from skill or knowledge. It's something you were born with. But your gift won't work for you until you start working it. It doesn't create space in your life just because you have it. You have to take a chance and put it into motion. You have to trust it, develop it. Step into it. And yes, you have to take risks with it. Because nothing happens until you start using what you've been given. You're waiting on a sign, a moment, a perfect time, but the truth is, you already have what you need. Your gift is your sign. You might not have the resources. You might not have the connections. You might not even know the full plan. But if you start with what's in your hands, your voice, your mind, your creativity, your ability to connect, inspire, lead, build, heal, then doors will start to open. People will begin to take notice. Opportunities will begin to find you. That's what it means when we say your gift makes room for you. It creates pathways that hard work alone can't open. It places you in rooms your resume never could. But here's the challenge, most people never give their gift a chance. They bury it beneath a paycheck. They silence it to please others. They ignore it because the world tells them to chase security instead of calling. And over time, that voice inside them, the one pushing them to try, to create, to step out, grows quieter. That's how dreams die. Not because people aren't gifted, but because they never believed in what they already had. If you want to change your life, you don't need to be more like someone else, you need to be more of yourself. Fully. Boldly. Unapologetically. And that means embracing your gift and trusting that it has a place in this world. Even if you don't see the full picture yet. Even if no one around you understands. Even if it feels like you're starting small. Everything big started small. Every legend was once a beginner. Every master was once unknown. But they used their gift. They kept showing up, kept refining it, kept giving it a chance to make room. There's something powerful that happens when you walk in your gift. It gives you confidence. Not arrogance, but real, grounded confidence, the kind that doesn't need approval because it comes from purpose. When you're in your gift, you're not competing. You're not pretending. You're flowing. You're aligned. That's when you become unstoppable, not because life gets easy, but because you finally know you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And maybe that's the reminder you need right now. That you don't need to beg the world for a seat at the table. You just need to bring your gift. The right table will make space for you. The right people will recognize you. The right doors will open not by force, not by manipulation, but because your gift speaks for itself. It shines. It draws attention. It demands respect. So if you're waiting for a sign to take a chance on what's already inside you, this is it. Don't wait for validation. Don't wait until it's perfect. Don't wait until everyone agrees. Just start. Use your gift. Share your gift. Trust your gift. Because that's the path. That's the plan. And that's the promise, your gift will make room for you if you're brave enough to use it. There comes a point in every dreamer's life where the facts don't line up with the vision. The odds look impossible. The numbers don't make sense. The resources are missing. The people around you are doubtful. And everything logical in your environment is telling you, this won't work. That's where most people stop. That's where most people turn around, shrink their dreams, and go back to safety. But the ones who go further, the ones who build lives of meaning and impact, are the ones who choose faith over facts. The facts may say you're unqualified. The facts may say you've failed too many times. The facts may say there's no way forward. But faith doesn't operate by the same rules. Faith says, if it's in you, it's possible. Faith says, if you were given the vision, there must be a path even if you can't see it yet. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It doesn't need proof to act. It doesn't need guarantees to believe. Faith moves because there is no visible way. Steve Harvey talks often about how he had to walk in faith before anything in his life looked like success. He was homeless. Broke. He had no evidence of future greatness. But he had belief. He had a calling. He had something inside him saying, keep going. And that voice was louder than the facts around him. That's what faith does, it doesn't deny reality, it just refuses to be limited by it. Facts are not your enemy, but they are incomplete. They tell you what is, not what could be. They're based on what's already happened, not what's possible when you step into the unknown. That's why relying on facts alone will keep you small. It will make you practical, but it won't make you powerful. At some point, you've got to leap without seeing the landing. At some point, you have to trust something bigger than data, trends, or other people's opinions. Faith requires risk. It's uncomfortable. You will have moments of doubt. You will wonder if you're crazy. You'll face rejection, confusion, and silence. But that doesn't mean you're on the wrong path. It means you're on a real one. The greatest breakthroughs come after the longest periods of darkness. The strongest faith is forged in uncertainty. And the people who rise are the ones who kept walking when they had every reason to stop. Taking a chance means betting on something you can't fully explain yet. It means believing in a vision no one else can see. That's faith. And it's terrifying, yes, but it's also what creates miracles. Some people wait their whole lives for all the facts to line up before they act. They wait for signs, for certainty, for perfect conditions. But the truth is, that moment rarely comes. At some point, you have to stop analyzing and start believing. You have to step out not because it makes sense, but because it speaks to your spirit. That doesn't mean you throw away wisdom. It doesn't mean you ignore preparation. But it does mean you move when your heart says it's time, even if the facts say not yet. Because your purpose won't always be logical. Your path won't always look possible. That's what makes it worth walking. Faith opens doors you didn't know existed. It puts you in rooms your resume doesn't qualify you for. It aligns you with people you weren't supposed to meet. It gives you strength in the face of rejection and resilience after failure. Faith is not just believing you can win, it's knowing that even if you fall, you'll get back up stronger. It's trusting the process even when the outcome is unclear. So when you're standing at the edge of your comfort zone, and the facts tell you to turn back, but something deep inside says jump, you have a choice. You can play it safe and stay where you are. Or you can take a chance and walk by faith. Because the truth is, the facts will always change. What seems impossible today may be reality tomorrow. But faith, real faith, is what turns that possibility into a promise. If you want to live the life you were created for, you can't wait for everything to add up. You have to move while the numbers are still against you. You have to trust the whisper inside more than the noise outside. You have to believe, not just in the outcome, but in the one who gave you the dream. There's a moment in every person's life when they stand at the edge of something greater than they've ever known, a dream, a purpose, a future that scares them and excites them at the same time. It's the moment where you're faced with a choice: stay where it's safe, or jump into the unknown. Steve Harvey's famous metaphor captures this perfectly: jump, and the parachute will open. He's not talking about reckless decisions, he's talking about trusting the process of life, even when the path ahead isn't fully clear. But let's be honest, jumping is terrifying. You don't know exactly when the parachute will open. You don't know if the fall will be short or long, gentle or violent. You just know that staying on the cliff is not going to take you anywhere new. And yet, most people choose to stay. Not because they don't have dreams, but because they fear the fall more than they believe in the parachute. Here's the truth: the jump is the most important decision you will ever make. You can prepare, you can plan, you can build up knowledge, but at some point, you have to act. You have to trust your gift, your instinct, your vision enough to leap. That jump is what separates dreamers from doers. It's the line between wishing for something and being willing to risk for it. And yes, you will get scraped on the way down. You might hit some rocks. You might lose things, people, comfort, money. But eventually, if you don't quit, the parachute will open. The problem is we all want the guarantee first. We want to see the open parachute before we leap. But that's not how life works. Growth doesn't happen in certainty. Transformation doesn't come from staying still. You've got to take the chance, believing, deep in your soul, that your wings will find a way even if the wind is against you. You won't feel ready. You might not have all the money, the support, or the plan. You may be scared out of your mind. That's normal. Every successful person you admire once stood on their own cliff and felt the exact same fear. The only difference? They jumped. They didn't wait until it was easy. They trusted that even if the road was hard, it would lead somewhere worth going. Steve Harvey didn't become who he is because he had a flawless path. He became that man because he jumped when no one was cheering, when nothing was guaranteed, when all he had was faith and a gift. That's what the jump is really about. It's about obedience to your own calling. It's about surrendering your need for control and stepping into something greater than yourself. Some people never jump their whole lives. They stay on the edge of their purpose, always wondering what could have been, always making excuses for why now isn't the right time. But you can't fly if you never leave the ground. The pain of falling is temporary. The regret of never trying is permanent. And here's what most people forget: the jump is what activates the parachute. It doesn't open while you're standing still. You have to move. You have to commit. You have to believe enough to leap. And yes, you'll learn a lot on the way down. You'll learn what works and what doesn't. You'll discover things about yourself that you never knew. You'll shed some things that were weighing you down. And in that freefall, you will start to realize that falling doesn't mean failing, it means you're alive, you're in motion, you're doing something that most people never have the courage to do. And then, at the right time, the parachute opens. The opportunity arrives. The connection appears. The breakthrough happens. And suddenly, you're soaring. You're living the life you once only imagined. And you'll look back at that jump, that terrifying moment where you didn't know how things would turn out, and you'll realize it was the best decision you ever made. So here's the question: are you going to stay stuck on the cliff, waiting for a perfect moment that doesn't exist? Or are you going to trust your gift, take a deep breath, and leap into the life that's been waiting for you?